Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome back to The Explainer. So, have you ever actually stopped to think about the hidden life cycle of the clothes you're wearing, like right this exact second? Think about it. The wild journey from the absolute split second an algorithm suggests a shirt to you, all the way to the moment you're standing in your laundry room, squinting at a tiny care label, trying to figure out if you can throw it in the dryer without ruining it. Today, we're demystifying the hidden mechanics of the modern online fashion ecosystem. We'll be looking at everything from cutting-edge AI shopping assistants mapping our exact preferences to the deeply physical, everyday reality of keeping those premium fabrics alive.
So, here's our roadmap for today. We'll track the journey through the AI shopping revolution, the rise of private labels, cracking the size chart, decoding those laundry hieroglyphics, and finally, a fabric-specific survival guide. Let's get started.
Part 1. The AI Shopping Revolution.
To really understand how our clothes arrive at our front door today, we have to start with a very specific, incredibly universal feeling. I absolutely love this quote from a recent Hindustan Times piece. It captures that highly relatable human experience so perfectly. You know the feeling, right? You're staring at a closet totally full of clothes, but you somehow have absolutely nothing to wear. The fits feel weird, the colors feel like last year, and you are just completely gripped by choice paralysis. Well, this spontaneous wardrobe audit is the exact moment modern e-commerce algorithms are designed to swoop in and solve.
To solve that decision fatigue, the way we shop has fundamentally changed. We're no longer just endlessly, mindlessly scrolling. Amazon, for example, has introduced an AI-powered conversational assistant named Rufus. Think of it like having a high-end luxury stylist right in your pocket. You can literally type something like, "Show me pastel green vacation-ready cord sets," and it curates a lineup with Vogue editorial framing just for you. It tracks 30 to 90-day price histories and can even automatically buy that dress when it hits a massive discount. And hey, if you snap a photo of an outfit you loved on the street, you just use Amazon Lens to find it instantly, while the Wear It With feature automatically builds out your shoes, bags, and accessories to match. It's an unbelievably powerful discovery engine for uncovering the best Amazon USA fashion finds.
Section 2. The rise of private labels.
Now, what's really interesting about this concept is AI is fantastic at finding clothes, sure, but who is actually manufacturing them? The truth is, global e-commerce is increasingly self-supplied. Just think about the massive ecosystem of in-house brands completely dominating the market right now. Platforms don't just sell third-party clothing anymore. They manufacture their own lines to compete directly with giants like H&M, Target, and Uniqlo. You've got Amazon Essentials providing basic wear for the whole family. And honestly, it extends way beyond clothing. They own 365 for organic groceries, Vidaka for everyday Indian spices, and Wickedly Prime for exclusive snacks. It is a fully integrated top-to-bottom supply chain.
But here's the catch. Even those in-house brands often rely on a massive, hidden global backend. Right behind those shiny digital storefronts are independent B2B white-label manufacturers. Companies like Virex Apparel over in China act as the premier custom clothing manufacturers for startups, small businesses, and massive fashion labels alike. They're the ones doing the heavy lifting, actually sourcing the premium fabrics, handling the advanced tailoring techniques, and conducting strict quality control before a brand-specific tag is ever sewn into the collar. And the level of detail is insane. When you see those ultra-realistic, cinematic close-ups online, the macro shots highlighting the glossy fabric texture, the premium stitching on the collar, those impeccably sewn buttons, the perfect waist fitting on a model doing a slow-motion fashion walk, that luxury aesthetic is often coming straight out of these independent facilities. They deliver photorealistic, premium quality that transitions seamlessly from a highly industrialized global factory setting right into the intimate reality of our daily wardrobes.
Section 3. Cracking the size chart.
So, your AI stylist found the look, the global supply chain manufactured it, but now we hit a major hurdle. If you've ever been super frustrated by an order arriving, 3 sizes too small, here is exactly why. On the seller backend dashboards, sellers are forced to navigate 2 entirely different metrics. First, you have the manufacturer or label size. This is what's physically printed on the tag, often based on the factory's country of origin. But then there's the local size. This is the mandatory localized size that matches the drop-down menu in your specific country. Bridging the gap between these two is where things go hilariously or tragically wrong.
Because sizing isn't just arbitrary guessing. It boils down to a highly rigid, strict back-end formula. Sellers are literally required to input exact data points to map their sizes correctly. For men's pants, the system requires the waist and inseam, but explicitly asks for no hip data. For women's dresses, it needs chest or bust, waist, and hip, but zero inseam data. These can be exact values or a range like 29 to 31 inches, and they have to be converted into the local unit of measurement, fraction by fraction. If a seller messes up this back-end data mapping, well, that luxury tailored fit you saw online arrives looking pretty much like a potato sack.
Section 4. Decoding laundry hieroglyphics.
All right, let's shift gears from high-tech algorithms to the very physical reality of doing laundry without destroying your brand new outfit. Because we've all pulled a favorite sweater out of the dryer only to find it now fits a toddler. We're going to act as a decoder ring for these confusing visual icons, turning them into actual actionable rules. First up is the wash tub symbol. So the crucial point is that this indicates machine washability. If there are numbers inside, that's your absolute maximum water temperature in Celsius. Sometimes you'll see dots instead. More dots just mean higher heat. But pay close attention to the line underneath the tub. A single line means you must use a mild, permanent press cycle. 2 lines? That means a very gentle, delicate cycle so you don't distort the weave.
Next up is the triangle, which dictates your bleaching rules. A plain empty triangle is basically a green light. Any chlorine bleach is safe, usually fine for your cottons and polyesters. If the triangle has diagonal lines inside it, you must use a non-chlorine, color-safe bleach. And if the triangle has a giant X through it, do not bleach it under any circumstances whatsoever. Natural animal fibers like fine wool and silk should literally never, ever be exposed to bleach.
Then we have the square, which is all about drying. A circle inside the square means it's totally safe to tumble dry. But remember, tumble drying, while super convenient, is the #1 fastest way to shrink your investments. If you see internal lines within that square, like a horizontal line right in the middle, that means it must be dried flat. Vertical lines mean it drip dry, and 2 diagonal lines in the corner, that means you need to dry it in the shade to prevent the color from fading. Following the instructions on this specific square is pretty much the only way to avoid ruining a perfect fit.
Finally, we have the plain circle. This is the ultimate safeguard. It means the item must be dry cleaned. If you see letters inside like a P or an F, don't worry, those aren't for you. Those specify exactly which chemical solvents your dry cleaner is allowed to use. This symbol is absolutely critical for retaining the shape and premium texture of complex weaves, heavy wool blazers, and your really fine silks.
Section 5. The Fabric-Specific Survival Guide. Now that we've decoded the secret language of laundry, I want you to ask yourself this incredibly relatable question. Why do my clothes keep shrinking, stretching, or losing their color? Honestly, the answer is almost always a mismatch between the fabric's actual chemical makeup and how we carelessly treat it on laundry day.
And this brilliantly illustrates the point. When you have stacks of vibrantly colored knitted garments, there's a very specific rule. 100% cotton knitted jerseys must be dried flat. If you take a heavy, wet knit and hang it on a hanger, gravity is going to pull the water down, permanently stretching the seams and totally ruining the shape. Plus, you have to dry them out of direct sunlight. The UV rays will literally sun-bleach those bright yellows and deep blues, causing irreversible discoloration.
When it comes to heavy action and performance gear, your nylon, your spandex, swimwear, rash vests, the rule is incredibly strict. These require an immediate hand rinse with clean water right after use. You simply cannot leave a wet, sweaty sports garment sitting in a heap on the floor. Sweat and pool chemicals will immediately start breaking down the integrity of the elastic fibers. Just rinse them, add a little softener if you machine wash them, and whatever you do, never tumble dry or iron them, or you will literally melt the spandex right out of the fabric.
So, let's summarize with some universal life hacks for garment care that apply to almost every single piece in your wardrobe. Consider these your golden rules for longevity. Always wash your garments inside out to protect the outer color. Group your loads not just by whites and darks, but by weight. Seriously, don't wash delicate shirts with heavy, abrasive jeans. Treat stains immediately before they set deeply into the fibers. And crucially, fasten all zippers and buttons before you put them in the drum so they don't snag and tear your other clothes to shreds.
Which brings us to the end of our journey today. We started with conversational AI, building our perfect outfits, and global supply chains weaving our exact measurements from the other side of the world. But it leaves us with this final provocative thought. If technology has made acquiring the absolute perfect wardrobe entirely effortless, is the true cost of modern fashion simply the physical effort, care, and attention we are willing to put into keeping those garments alive? I highly recommend you take a quick walk to your closet right now, do your own spontaneous wardrobe audit, and maybe double-check a few of those care labels. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.